All right, so Luna is at our buy point right now, and Bitcoin is suffering from a little bit of selling pressure after dropping over 6% today, and it's at a very critical level. And of course, we can't talk about Luna without talking about Bitcoin, because whatever Bitcoin does affects the entire crypto market. So in this video, we're going to take a look at where Luna and Bitcoin may be headed next. To get anything of value from this video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe. And with that being said, let's get right into it. All right, so in the last video, we were talking about Luna and how we had this Gartley pattern forming. If you don't know, a Gartley pattern is a pattern comprised of 5 points, X, A, B, C, and D. The D point is where we usually see a level of support, and you can see that we just completed the pattern today at roughly around this number here, okay, 0.00013. I told you guys that I was probably going to be buying Luna if we did actually end up coming into this area, and in fact I did. Now remember that Luna is extremely risky and volatile, so you're not going to want to trade this on any sort of leverage, because Luna, even if you're doing 2 times leverage, okay, Luna can drop 50% within a day very easily, as you can see right here. Okay, it doesn't take much for Luna to drop 50%, and if you're using 2 times leverage or even more, that will automatically liquidate your position. So you do not want to trade Luna on leverage. So we've now completed the pattern, and you can actually see that we are actually holding this zone quite well. Okay, we had a huge candle going into the pattern, which normally I don't really like to see, because that tells us that we have a lot of momentum coming into that level of support. And when you have a lot of momentum coming into a level of support, that level is usually less likely to hold. But what we end up seeing is, in fact, that we saw this massive red candle followed by an immediate rebound to the upside, which is actually a very strong sign, because that tells us that, well, there's a lot of buyers in this general area, enough so that even with this amount of selling coming in, we were able to turn around on a dime. And that's not to say that Luna is 100% guaranteed to go much higher. Okay, this thing is likely going to zero from what, we've seen. But we said in the last video that we're trying to capture some of the volatility, and that means a very short-term play, right? This is on an hourly chart. So we are still very early on Luna. I mean, we could easily just, the next candle break right below this and go much lower. But if there was an area to be looking to buy Luna, in my opinion, it would be in this general area here, because, we're pretty much almost at zero at this point, and it's kind of like a lottery ticket, okay? We're pretty much betting that we're either going to lose all of our money or make a couple multiples on our money, okay? And to put this into perspective, if Luna reaches the first target of the Gartley pattern, which is usually a 382 Fibonacci retracement from the high to the low, or A to D, okay, that is going to yield us a return from my buy point at least, which is roughly around this 0.00013. Okay, that's going to give us around 127% return. And then if we can get back up to these highs, which I don't know if that's very likely, but if we do, on the off chance, that is going to be nearly a 300% return. So we're looking to triple and even quadruple our money if we, for whatever reason, see a large spike in Luna's price and a retest of these highs over here. Okay, so everything is looking great on Luna so far. I purchased at that 13 level. We still have the 10 and 20 hour moving averages over here. Okay, so we may end up seeing a retest of these moving averages. As you know, these averages pretty much define a downtrend or an uptrend. If we're below those, we're in a downtrend. Okay, we may see a retest of that and then continuation lower. So I may be looking to take some profits in here if we get that. And from the buy point, that is roughly around 50% higher. Okay, so very quick move to the upside, a very quick 50% gain. I did not invest much into this, as you should probably not as well, because again, you can lose it all. So go very small if you must. But if you're looking for a broker to trade other coins like altcoins or even Bitcoin on up to 100 times leverage, which is overkill, but you have that to your disposal if you want, you can feel free to use the link in my description down below, which is Bybit. That is the broker that I personally use to trade Bitcoin on leverage. And if you use my link, you can get up to $3,000 in sign-up bonuses, which is just money that you can use to invest, trade with, whatever you want. They're a great broker. They have no KYC process, and you can sign up within just a couple of seconds. So feel free to click that link in the description down below. And now let's take a look at Bitcoin, because we're at a pretty key level on Bitcoin so far. All right, Bitcoin is down quite a bit today, almost 6%, and not in a really good area for us to be seeing a day like today, okay? When we take a look at the daily time frame on Bitcoin, we end up seeing that we just came back into the 10-day moving average right over here, that blue line, and we are immediately rejecting that and seeing a move back to the downside. Okay, now we are still in a level of relative support. Okay, we still have these lows as support over here, as you can see from there. All right, so that is still a level of support, But the fact that we are coming back into these moving averages and rejecting them is not a very good sign, because as I just said, these moving averages pretty much define the strength of an uptrend or a downtrend. Now, when we drop down to a smaller time frame like the 4-hour time frame, we'll get a little bit of a clearer picture here. You can actually see that we came and we tested the 50 moving average on this 4-hour time frame, and that is where we ended up seeing a rejection as well. So this is not only a 50 moving average on the 4-hour time frame, but it's also a 10 moving average on the daily time frame. Okay, all kind of meeting in this area here around $31,000 a coin. Then, of course, you can see this little bit of a consolidation here, and we have a key level of support over here, this trend line you can see. So if we end up breaking down below 29,100-ish, that may be the sign for another leg lower, as we've been anticipating on Bitcoin, right? We have been expecting that this is not quite yet the exact low for Bitcoin. We still probably need a little bit more turmoil before we see a large move higher, at the very least some consolidation in this general area. Okay, so we may end up breaking down and going lower. How much lower? Well, I'm looking for a maximum low of roughly around $23,000 a coin. Okay, because that on the weekly time frame is a 113 Fibonacci extension, okay, from this high to that low. So 113 Fibonacci extension, I expect that to be, if we do get to that level, I expect that to be a huge level of support and possibly even the low for a very long time. And when we take a look at the monthly time frame, you guys know, again, I'm a broken record at this point, you guys know that the lower boundary of this green zone on the monthly time frame is just this 50-month moving average, which historically speaking has always held in the past. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to hold in the future, but just looking at the chart for the last decade, okay, this is generally the place where you want to be buying, in these green zones and near this yellow moving average or the 50-month moving average, okay? So between $23,000 and $20,000 a coin for Bitcoin is what I would expect to be the pretty much bottom for this bear market, okay? Hard to call the exact tops and bottoms, but that's the general area I'm looking at. And of course, that would be great for all other coins as well, including potentially Luna in the short term, right? If we start seeing some Bitcoin buying pressure, right? So that is pretty much it for this video. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Of course, I'm going to keep you guys updated every single day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.